Monique is the auntie I have always wanted and always needed. Monique operates with a level of integrity that I hope remains divinely protected. Loneliness that comes from standing in your truth, a divine maternity to her. I am not even completely through Monique's entire conversation on Club Shay Shay. I'm probably like an hour and some change in, and I was like, man, I have to come get these thoughts off. I want to capture this because I really want to talk about this. Hi, my name is Mariah. Welcome to my channel. Here I am a beauty and skincare novice. I do my hair and I share my journey as a solopreneur with my business b.well Botanics, which is a CBD and wellness brand, which I'll, be sponsoring myself and plugging more about my business in the video. But aside from that, I also like to share my thoughts as a young 20-something that is navigating life and feels as though she is a little bit of a lot of things, but I think that's okay. I think you can be a little bit of a lot of things and still be you. I think that's nuance. And I'm really not here to be a detective on what's fact and what's fiction and what's true and what's not. What I really want to touch on is what I took from listening to her speak and the nuggets from her experiences that I have found to be extremely valuable to me as a 20-something-year-old woman, 25 going on 26 as of this recording, that feels as though she is struggling to really take hold of who she is and stand in it, no matter the cost, the perception, or really anything. I'm gonna insert a clip of something Monique said in this conversation that struck up a lot of these feelings and where something kind of clicked for me that I do want to speak on in this video.
My relationship now with my family, they're my biological family, and I wish them well.
Mo.
Well, here's the thing. I watched you do I think it was like a little clip, and they were talking about interracial dating.
Yes.
And you said, why would somebody stay where they're miserable?
Right.
That applies everywhere, Shannon.
Okay.
It just doesn't apply to that, especially in our community. We've been taught, take care of your family, make sure. Well, there are some families that deserve it. And there are some families that you have to say, listen, I'm so glad we had this time together. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's where I am with mine. Mm-hmm. I wish all of them the best, but that's what it is. Yeah. So even as I sit here with you now, with all that's going on in Hollywood and all of the stuff I had to go through, I've already been through it with people that you call your family. And I have to say, you know what? That has to just wash off when I know what I'm standing in and what I'm standing on.
Biological.
We've been taught to say trauma is okay. We've been taught to say you mistreated me, you abused me, you violated me, you disrespected me, you belittled me, but I'm supposed to look at you at Thanksgiving and say, how you doing, Unc? That's what we've been taught. You swallow that pain. That's why people have such a problem with Cat Williams. People have a problem with people that says, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. And that causes a ruckus. And you would say, why are people upset with the truth? When you hear Steve Harvey say, there are repercussions when you tell the truth. Well, I think that when people say, if it was so bad, you mature. You begin to understand what you're dealing with.
Right.
You begin to understand what you're in the midst of. And once you understand it is when you can speak on it.
Right.
But before you really know what you're looking at, how do you speak on that?
Right.
Some of the raw thoughts I really wanted to capture about how I felt watching Monique is one, Monique is the auntie I have always wanted and always needed. It feels kind of funny and giving very much parasocial tease to say that about a woman that I don't know from a can of paint, but I am somebody that finds a little bit of themselves in others. And I appreciate whenever I find a part of myself that I feel as though I've been searching for or that has gone missing for me, that clicks when I hear the stories and the thoughts and the convictions of others that I couldn't have imagined resonating with in ways and about things that I would think have absolutely nothing to do with my life and have no connection. But truly, as someone that only had one biological aunt, but she had some addiction problems that kind of prohibited there being a very healthy and sustainable relationship. And I have some other biological aunts that I just absolutely do not know who they are, and I would conclude they probably don't even know I exist. Listening to the conviction in Monique's words, as well as her rock solid integrity, struck something in me that, when I think about it, almost wants to bring me to tears in a way, because there was just a divine maternity to her that I genuinely felt at home with, just listening to her pop her shit, speak her truth, crack her jokes, and tell her story. I felt something from her that is, in its essence, is something to marvel and behold and even aspire to in some ways. I related so much to what she was saying about family in that last clip and navigating, choosing her peace over performing, because these are some tough conversations that I myself have even had to have with some of my family members, and especially those that don't really understand or don't really like the distance that I keep between myself and them at times. As someone that grew up in a household where I was put in positions to kind of grow up a little faster than I necessarily should have, and experienced traumas that led to a maturing of me that, you know, looking back, while I wouldn't have wanted to necessarily repeat it, I'm grateful that I have chosen to learn the lessons and take the fruit out of what I have gone through from my youth into my young adulthood, so that there are some things that I quite frankly just don't have to worry about repeating. But with that, there is this loneliness that comes from standing in your truth and standing in a level of integrity that holds others to task, especially when it's a level of integrity that you're also more than willing to hold yourself to, and desire people in your life that will hold you to it and hold themselves to as well. And to navigate that kind of integrity and navigate those kinds of values when you have a community that you're born into and circumstances that you experience that don't necessarily support that, it can be very tempting and very easy to kind of shuffle them to the background and do what you need to do to blend in, to fit in, and to move around comfortably with as little conflict as possible. And listening to her just share that experience so gracefully and so eloquently, but also very authentically, without really pulling any punches on her stance, was empowering for me. It was, because for me it demonstrated that it's possible, that it's valid, and most of all, what I find most comforting is I'm not the only one, and I can draw from others' experiences and their stories, especially watching this gorgeous big black woman just like me having so much autonomy and choice over the crafting and curating of her life and her life experience. That's like the pinnacle for me, and I did not realize that that was something that I needed when I needed it. And yes, I am one of those people that is just deep for no reason. You know, I can see a leaf falling from a tree, and the way it's falling in a circular motion, just floating through the wind, will speak to me in some kind of way. So I can find value in meaning in a lot of things, but I don't go looking for it so I can be fake deep and fake philosophical. I find meaning in things that speak to me, that I'm willing to listen to, and that I'm willing to actually open my ears and turn the rest of my physical attention towards when my spirit and my energy has picked up on something and it wants the rest of me to pay attention to it. One of the last and final things that I took from Monique that I really appreciate is I love having encounters that cause me to become a little more introspective and put the magnifying glass back on myself and begin to hold myself to task on some things and reevaluate some behaviors in me that I have adopted and grown comfortable with that aren't exactly aligned with or conducive to the values that I say I want, or the things that I claim that I stand by or that I do or don't like. I really appreciate that kind of challenging and that kind of gentle and gracious yet powerful and quite serious reminder that, are you who you say you are? Are you down for what you say you're down for? And do you really realize the implications of your actions? Even if today you just say, oh, it was just one time, or it's not that big of a deal, or it's just a little white lie. Whatever it is, I like that in a conversation that was shrouded in tea and storytelling and jokes, there were so many applicable nuggets to effective living that I was able to take from that conversation. And I find being able to navigate spaces and conversations like that absolutely masterful. And my hat's off to you, Auntie Mo. My hat's off and my honor to you, because I love to see a person that has done the work. And I love to see a person that has decided, this is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to stand in, and I'm going to tell you. I just love that she encapsulated the dismantling of the halo effect. People that we deem more credible or worthy of being believed or actually having something valuable to say as looking very different from her. And to say that I see so much of myself in her, it makes me say I look forward to where I'm headed. So to Monique, to Auntie Mo, I just want to say thank you for being you. Thank you. The way you show up, it has impact and you know it. And I'm glad that you do. And those are my thoughts.